There are a few past world champs in poker who are no longer remembered for winning a main event, and Russ Hamilton is one of them. That is what happens when you engage in a complex operation to deceive opponents out of millions. An ultimate bet superuser scandal and the fact that the 1994 World Series of Poker main event champion, Russ Hamilton, was behind it was even more shocking. And to top things off, the amount of money stolen was between a whopping $16 and $18 million by Hamilton's own admission. But how did it all happen in the first place, and how did the scammer eventually get caught? Before we get into those details, it's quite important here for us to know about Russ Hamilton first, because there could be a chance that you, perhaps, wouldn't know much about him. Born in 1949, Hamilton's poker career started in the 1980s, and by the 1990s, he had proven himself as a powerful player. His most significant accomplishment came in 1994 when he won the World Series of Poker main event, winning a coveted WSOP bracelet and a stunning $1 million in prize money. This victory solidified his reputation as a poker legend. Hamilton, who was in his mid-30s at the time, was quickly establishing himself as one of the game's finest players. However, he took on certain positions in the sector outside of the felt, and doing so would eventually lead to his downfall. The former world champion worked as a gaming industry expert before becoming a consultant for the now-defunct Ultimate Bet online poker site. In that role, he helped bring key poker stars to the brand, including Phil Hellmuth, probably the game's biggest name. Hellmuth's partnership with Ultimate Bet in the 2000s gave the poker site the credibility it needed to compete with other prominent sites like PokerStars and Full Tilt Poker. Hamilton also founded the Ultimate Blackjack Tour in 2005 while working for Ultimate Bet. The televised Blackjack League enjoyed some early success, but it only lasted 2 seasons. And while during his time at the UBT, he was busy running the most complex poker scam in history. So when did it actually start to unfold? In 2007, players began posting on poker groups such as 2plus2, claiming to have been cheated on Absolute Poker and flagging suspicious activity by a small number of accounts. That strange conduct included astoundingly high victory rates and seemingly flawless performance in every situation, prompting players to suspect their opponents were aware of their holdings via a super user God mode. The majority of the suspicion was centered around the account PoTripper, which took down a whopping $100,000 guaranteed $1,000 buy-in tournament in September 2007, though only having previously entered 3 low-stakes tournaments on the site. In the final hand against Crazy Marco Johnson, PoTripper called an all-in bet with just 10 high to win the tournament and a crazy $30,000. Other players came up with skeptic hands that PoTripper had played throughout the tournament, and Johnson asked for a hand history for the final table. However, Absolute Poker mistakenly sent him an Excel document of measures at all tables from the first 2 hours of the event, which Johnson shared with other forum members. In October 2007, experienced poker journalist Haley Hintza, who spent years investigating the superuser controversy, stated for Poker News that the first 90-plus hands of PoTripper's game were included in the spreadsheet. As competent poker players organized and identified the history of the hands, another pattern of regularly unusual play emerged, indicating the need for additional investigation. The website Poker X Factor even developed a playback file comprising practically all of the hands recorded for PoTripper during the event, including the final table, which was brought in from other sources. Though Absolute Bet at first refused the accusations of cheating, the site subsequently stated it was the victim of an attack of security in which a high-ranking consultant created an elaborate scheme to control internal systems and access third-party computers and accounts to see the hole cards of other customers during play and without their knowledge, resulting in detrimental play. And this was one of those cheating scandals that no one saw coming. Hamilton did approximately 100 times what Postal is accused of doing. Postal allegedly utilized an electronic device to obtain access to his opponent's hole cards during Stone's live streams. He reportedly made a huge $250,000 from the games in question. Although similar in style, this was nothing compared to Hamilton's performance. Toquiro Enterprises ENRG, the owners of Ultimate Bet, announced in May 2008 that an internal investigation found that unfair play occurred on the site between March 2006 and December 2007, with 6 accounts and 18 screen names involved, including Neonio, Sleepless, No Paddles, and Flatbroke 33. Of course, Russ Hamilton's. Now, many believe that there's a reason why Russ Hamilton is the only main event winner without a sign in the World Series of Poker route or tournament area. In the years after the insider cheating on Ultimate Bet and Absolute Poker, it came to light that Hamilton was the main culprit, personally defrauding his fellow poker players out of tens of millions. The Kanawake Gaming Commission's investigative findings, issued in September 2009, identified 117 user identities associated with 23 accounts involved in cheating. The review determined that the vast majority of the computer devices and IP addresses used by the cheating accounts were directly associated with Russell Hamilton, or the vast majority of the cheating accounts transferred money through Russell Hamilton's player accounts. While the report focused on the main event champion, it also revealed that 31 other people were also engaged in the crime. However, their names were not released. At this point, one name linked with many other names indicated a far broader breadth of cheating dating back to June 2003. In its ultimate verdict, the Kanawake Gaming Commission fined Ultimate Bet an insane $1.5 million and ordered a huge $22 million restitution to affected players. However, things slowed down in the Ultimate Bet affair as millions of refunds were issued to thousands of players who got cheated on in separate batches. Helmuth and Duke broke ties with the poker brand for which they had been the faces for several years in December 2010, and both Ultimate Bet and Absolute Poker shut down on poker's Black Friday in April 2011, leaving many players wondering if they would ever see their money again. But some shocking details were yet to be revealed, and this one was also one of them. A few months earlier, Travis McCarr, an assistant of Hamilton who owned several accounts used in the super user scheme, came forward claiming that more people had been involved than just Hamilton, and that the money refunded was nowhere near the amount stolen. McCarr revealed a secretly recorded 3-hour conversation between himself, Pearson, Hamilton, and others in May 2013, indicating their conspiracy to cover up the incident. Now, we all are aware of the fact that at this point it became pretty apparent to everyone that it was the 1994 poker champion who had access to a super user account at Ultimate Bet, which allowed him to see his opponent's hole cards. But what makes everything even more shocking is the fact that he admitted to it all in a secretly recorded audio clip that was released publicly in the same year that McCarr talked about.
The book from the server that allows this discovered the server mistake. Right. They've also discovered which account takes advantage of the mistake. And they have times now when this account logged in. So for us to come out and say...
In the tape chat, which McCarr published in a bid to save his name, the executives discussed the God Mode program, and Hamilton clearly admitted to defrauding gamers out of a whopping $16 to $18 million. "I did take this money, and I'm not trying to make it right," is what he can be heard saying in the audio. The leaked chat also revealed some information regarding Annie Duke, who Hamilton can be heard on tape indicating was aware of the God Mode software and used it herself with a 15-minute delay, although Duke later denied any involvement. What's also crazy here is the fact that Hamilton and other super users defrauded thousands of players out of more than $50 million over several years, which also makes it clear that it wasn't just the $18 million that we're talking about here. Ouch. And as with the majority of scams, neither Russ Hamilton nor any of the Ultimate Bet officials were ever prosecuted with a crime, mostly because online poker is a legal gray area. But we'd like to hear from you. Let us know what you guys think about this in the comments below. See you in the next one.